Okay, so over the past couple of weeks, we've been spending time looking through the STAR test passages and really starting to focus on the kind of questions that they're asking us to answer. And lately, we've come across some where they're actually asking us to get inside the mind of an author. And that's a little difficult because we're not the author that wrote the passage. We are authors in our own way, but not for this test, right? We didn't write these passages. And so I know when I first saw questions like this, it kind of freaked me out. I'm like, I don't know. How am I supposed to get inside someone's head, right? How am I supposed to know this? But just like every other question on the STAR test, the answers are always in the passage. They're not going to jump out at us and tell us exactly, I'm the answer, I'm the answer. But if we use the clues and if we go back and really re-examine the passage in this kind of lens, we will begin to understand what the author was doing, and we can actually make a great inference on why the author did something. So that's what I'm going to show you today. I'm going to show you a question that does that. So then this first one, this was from the paired passage that we've all read around the wagon travel and the airplane, and then it's actually a double passage one. But I'm going to focus on this question around the poem. So the question says, the poet includes the pilot statement in stanza 1 in order to. Okay? So again, I'm going to just kind of reword this for myself. So obviously it's the author, right? Includes the pilot statement in stanza 1 in order to. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to go back and look at stanza 1. And I'm going to read the statement made by the pilot, which is, the pilot on the plane says, in 1 minute and 50 seconds, we're going as far as the covered wagon went in a full day. So right here, I'm going to go ahead and underline that so it brings my attention to this. So out to the side here, I've already done my work of putting it in my own words and kind of road mapping the poem. And so I don't have to go back and do that now. I can start gathering all this information together. So again, 1 minute and 50 seconds, we're going as far as the covered wagon went in a full day. So what he's really saying here, the pilot is saying, that air travel is much quicker than wagon. And over here to the side, you will see that we know on the left-hand side when we're looking at poetry or any kind of text, we spend some time over here on the left-hand side kind of asking us or road mapping this and determining why the author put it there or what's going on, right? So you'll see here that I labeled out to the side that the author set up a comparison of air and wagon travel, right? So I've already done that thinking. Okay, so I know what it's about, and I know here that the author has set up a comparison. So let's see what the answer choices are. So A, to tell the passengers where they are going. So I go back over here and I look, he doesn't say where they're going. He kind of focuses on the time, right? That's not a possibility. Describe how pioneers traveled. Now, I do know from reading the entire poem that there is some description in here on how the pioneers traveled, but not in stanza 1. And I know this is another thing that makes me know that I really need to pay attention and go back and look only in this is because I know the test takers are going to trick me. And so, yes, this happened. This happened in the poem, but not in stanza 1. So I'm going to put that here, not in stanza 1. And I forgot here, y'all should have caught me, right? And said you need to show your thinking. Tell the passengers about where they're going. No. He's comparing air and wagon travel. Explain the disadvantages of covered wagons. So he didn't ever really explain the disadvantages of covered wagons, That's not what this poem was about, and I know that because here, I've already done this, and here was a description on the scenery that they saw from the airplane. Here was a description and kind of a comparison of the journey in the wagon, and here was a description of what the people in the wagons experienced up close. So I know after going back over each of these stanzas that that is not the right answer. I didn't guess. I went through and I talked myself through the thinking. Give passengers an idea of how fast modern air travel is. So if I go back and look at this, in 1 minute and 50 seconds, we're going as far as the covered wagon went in a full day. So there's some clues here, right? So how fast? I have clues here that says, oh, look, they're giving me time. He's talking about 1 minute and 50 seconds. He's talking about a full day. So right there, the author set up a comparison, and he's using words that match the speed of something, right? So there's that other clue. Remember, we talked about if we look really closely at the words, we can start matching them up. So when we look at this last answer, we've got the clues in the words. So he did use words in that first stanza that gave you clues to time, right? 1 minute, 50 seconds, going far, and in a full day. So that's, I'm going to write that out here to the side, that he used words to describe time. So that's one reason why. Modern air travel, he's in a plane. So plane is modern. And another way that he's talking about and making, not explaining, but giving passengers an idea is because he compared present day travel to past. So as you can see here, when they give you a question on the test that asks you to kind of get inside the mind of an author, so the poet included this to do this, the author included this sentence, or most likely included this. Anytime you see those, there's no reason to panic, right? You can go right back in and look in the text specifically where they're asking you to look, right? And use the clues from the text to get the correct answer, okay? What I would like for you to do right now is I want you to turn and talk to a partner about the thinking and the process that you saw me go through in answering this question. That's what I did. All right, so I heard some of you say that you noticed. Some of you noticed what I did. Yes, I did go back and I started marking out answers. But more importantly than that, some of you even said you really started examining the words, right? In the stanza and in the questions. Make sure that that thinking is present when you're using this strategy. Okay? So I would hope that when you come across the questions that are asking you, the poet or the author includes or structured it or organized in this way, most likely too, that this is one of those strategies that you use. Good luck.